Okay, so I'm here to talk about a possible $50 ounce. And yes, $50 of this little thing here, this tiny little coin. Could it actually go up from what it's at right now? When I'm making this video, it's the 16th of August, 2025. And silver closed at a $38 ounce, which is, I mean, this previous week, there's been a little bit of fluctuation in price. I think it may have been about a month ago. Yeah, about a month ago that we saw a $39.50 dollar ounce of silver, which is completely unheard of. I think that's been like a competing high. I don't think we've seen a high like that in, I think it was 15 years time. Yeah, 15 years. I mean, that is just absolutely mental. This is the breakout I think that silver has been waiting for quite a long time. It had a little bit of a retracement, especially during August, but honestly, I think, you know, a little consolidation period for a couple of weeks, possibly maybe going into late September. It's probably one of the best things for silver, because especially if you have a very, very big, you know, high price change, you want to set a floor which can create a good support and a nice resistance. But yeah, this video today is possibly talking about, sorry, it's not possibly talking about, it's talking about the possibility of a $50 ounce of silver. I mean, the silver price has been so manipulated over many, many years. But you know, we are really seeing the bullish nature of silver recently, and I think to a degree it may be able to overcome, you know, obviously it will never be able to overcome that manipulation because the governments like to stick their dirty little fingers into the silver price. But yeah, it's been under a lot of manipulation, but hopefully a $50 ounce may be quite probable. One of the things about silver is that it lugs behind gold. And you know, they're very much like sisters, you know, with gold being the older sister, silver being the younger sister. Silver always follows suit with gold. And in this past year, gold has, I think it's increased in price by 50%. Yeah. And we haven't seen that with silver. The GSR is just, I feel like it is literally, it's just been, it's just kind of always been lacking that squeeze for the past, I think, maybe 5 years. You know, we've always seen kind of 90s to 80s, maybe dipping into the 70s, high 70s. But yeah, I think the GSR right now, if I get it up, live gold silver as a ratio, yeah, 88.38. I mean, that is absolutely ridiculous. You know, I believe there may be a correction in the near future where we see the GSR dropping back to its normal kind of 60, you know, low 60s, possibly high 50s to 70s range. Everybody's got their different opinion of what the GSR is. But I mean, my opinion, you know, don't listen to me. I'm just a guy that's got an interest in this very nice metal, that just likes to talk about it and to get his thoughts out. But I kind of think that a GSR of 60 is a pretty fair evaluation. One of the reasons why I personally like silver more than gold is solely based on the fact that silver has so much more industrial application, which I really think is able to give it that, I don't want to say volatility, but yeah, but let's say positive upwards movement. Yeah, it gives it more momentum compared to gold. You know, based on the fact that gold, since it's so unreactive chemical properties, and it's seen as more stable, which is true. It is seen as more stable because it literally is more stable than silver, which is why you see steady kind of price increases with gold, whereas with silver it's completely different, because silver can be affected in so many different ways to gold. You know, gold, really the only way that the gold price is going to be affected is by government intervention. You know, if America, which is very probable, they may be putting a tariff on gold, which would be, you know, quite difficult. Whether Trump has announced that that's not going to happen, I have no idea. I'll have to research that. But I know that one thing is that there is a possible VAT that's going to be introduced on gold inside the UK, which would cause complete manic. I think that would be very damaging to the gold price. You know, some people they argue that if you do put that scarcity of the VAT on gold, then everybody is going to think, oh my goodness, you know, I need to get as much as I can before the VAT bill is introduced, because there's currently rumours of that VAT being introduced. But as of now, I don't really think that's anything to worry about. But no, silver is so much more affected by these factors. You know, that if solar panels, you know, the next day had people found that they had these harmful chemicals that destroyed a bunch of agricultural land, because silver is very, very reliant on its industrial metal use, that would massively affect the silver price, whereas gold doesn't really have those liabilities compared to silver. However, that does give silver a kind of hedge against gold, because these things can be used so practically. You find silver in iPhones, you find silver in electric cars, solar panels, basically anything that requires some sort of electrical conduction to a very high efficiency. Silver is going to be your go-to, because silver is the best conductor of electricity out of any metal. I hope there's no chemists like Mrs. Wall Street that will be able to correct me, because I don't know the atomic arrangement of silver. I just know that it's quite shiny, and I think that it holds its value very, very well. And I think silver is so undervalued. So undervalued may be a bit of an exaggeration, but I think silver really is undervalued, and I think people really should be trying to jump on silver as much as possible. So possible $50 ounce of silver. I think if the bullish movement of gold from the, you know, inflation going up, dollar going down, pound going down. I mean, UK economics is completely different to American economics, but both are, you know, I think they're both due a pretty big storm. A pretty controversial opinion, but, you know, whether the IMF may be called into Britain soon, who knows? But yeah, with the currencies in general, really, other than I think the euro is doing pretty well, but you know, currencies going down. I don't think gold rising, silver following. I honestly think a $50 silver could be very, very probable, but I think we've just got to see what happens. But $50 silver, tell me what you guys think. Do you think a $50 silver is probable? Do you not? Look at these two bars that I got recently. I think they might be slightly murky, but yeah, they're pretty nice. But yeah, $50 silver, what do you guys think?